The building blocks for a loft are the profiles used to define its cross-sectional shape. When you begin a part from scratch, these profiles are typically in the form of 2D sketches. As we'll see later, there are other items you can use to define loft cross-sections, but for now we'll stick to 2D sketches. For our first loft exercise, I want to create a part like this one from scratch. At first glance, you might wonder why a loft is even necessary. After all, the parts look pretty simple, but there are no complex surfaces, so why bother using a loft? Take a look at the top view. Notice the different size profiles at the base and at the top. If you know the size of the base and the size of the top, but you don't necessarily care about the angles of these two faces, then a loft is ideal for the situation. Let's begin a new part and see why this is the case. Here I have a new part file. The first sketch will be on the top plane. This will be a simple rectangle that will serve as the base profile for our loft. I'll dimension the rectangle to be 5 inches by 2.5 inches. This is all the information I need for this profile, so I'll exit the sketch. Next, I'll create a sketch that will define the top of the loft. The top of the loft is going to be located some distance above the base sketch. In order to create that sketch, I'm going to need a plane located 6 inches above the top plane. I'll create a new plane using the top plane as a reference and specify 6 inches as the offset distance. Now I'm ready to create the top profile. By the way, creating lofts will often require that you create reference planes. If you don't feel comfortable with the various methods of creating planes, take a moment to review the topic in the SolidWorks online help, or in our introductory course, SolidWorks Core Concepts. I'll begin a sketch here on my newly created plane, and I'll define a rectangle 4 inches by 2 inches. At this point, I'll exit the sketch and select the loft icon. The Loft Property Manager appears. The Profile selection window is active and ready for me to select the profiles that will define the loft. I'll need to select 2 or more profiles to define a loft. As with most features, I can either select the items I need from the Feature Manager tree or from the Graphics window. When using a loft, I strongly recommend selecting your profiles from the Graphics window. Here's why. The Loft feature is sensitive to the location where you'll select each profile. I'll select the base profile close to this corner, and I'll select the top profile near the corresponding corner. A preview immediately appears, as well as these green dots called connectors. The reason these connectors join these specific corners of the profiles is because of where I clicked. To make this clear, let me right-click in the Profile selection window and select Clear Selections. Now, I'll repeat the selection process, but this time, I'll click the profiles near opposite corners. Notice the drastically different result? For this reason, you'll want to be careful about where you select your profiles. However, if you do happen to make a mistake, you can click and drag the connector dots from one corner to another and fix any unwanted twisting. At this point, I'll click OK, and the loft is complete. The dimensions of the base and top profiles have been defined, as well as the overall height of the part, and the loft has taken care of everything in between. This is exactly what I was looking to accomplish.